Spacing out. It's easy to space out in the morning. Come on, drain through. I'm thirsty. Well, I'm not thirsty, but I want coffee. Apparently talking to my coffee will speed this process up. Come on, hurry up. It's not going fast enough. Go faster. Hello. Come on. My options at this point are to drink less coffee or to wait. I guess we're gonna drink less coffee. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is April 30th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Can you tell I cut my hair yesterday? I found a new spot of white on my beard that hadn't been there before, that I hadn't noticed. There's only a little bit. It's only like here and here. Other than that, with the mask on, you can't tell I'm in my 40s, and that's pretty cool. I'll take it. Oh, you see this? I cut my thumb up cleaning a knife because I was not cleaning it properly. I was using my thumb to scrape off gunk and moved a little bit the wrong way and went, oh, whoops. So there was a little bit of minor surgery. Not like hospital surgery, like in my bathroom, like Band-Aids, and antiseptic, and comfrey ointment, and new skin, and medical tape, and nail clippers. That was the extent of the surgical tray. There wasn't a tray. I used the bathroom sink. I hope you had a good Thursday. I hope you're on track for a good Friday and a good weekend. I finished the raw audio for the audiobook yesterday. Yay! Proud of myself. I did 3 chapters in one sitting. I sat down and just knocked them out. And it reminded me that the chapters at the end of the novel some of them are much shorter than earlier in the novel. And that was because they were more action-oriented. And there was less that needed to be laid out. I laid out all the stuff in the beginning of the book. And so now, we're gonna get the audio done. I've sent it off to somebody to give me a price. And if that works out, they will do it. If not, I will find somebody else. We will get that done. And that means next week is all about finishing up the strength and conditioning program, not the workouts, because those are done, but working on the guide and the website part and all the other things so we can get that launched. I am hopeful, knock on wood, I am hopeful we can get that launched next week. That would be super cool. And then back to the 12 Months to Health book, and then back to the flexibility program. So, see? You come on to First Cup and you get to see what Jeremy's doing over the next few months. We're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. So that's what's going on there. What else happened yesterday? I had a great meeting with a friend, somebody else who's in marketing. And we sat down, and one of the things I like about meeting with this person is he's open to ideas. And I keep trying to find ways we can work together. He works for a local radio station that is open to doing some different and unique stuff. They already have a strong digital department. There's nothing currently that I do that they would need me to do. Now, I can do some stuff pretty well. I'm pretty good with marketing strategy. And, their clients would probably benefit from what I do, but not enough that it's going to make them money. So they're not going to bring me on. But we laid out some ideas because they've got some interesting pieces that they already do. And I said, we could turn this into a TV station. And he's like, oh. And we came up with a few things, and I gave him an anchor show or some anchor video content that actually would really do well for them. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's that good of an idea. But if it happens, I will let you know. And so my hope is that he'll take that back to his bosses, and they'll say yes, and he'll say, hey, Jeremy, I got the go-ahead. Come work with me on this. because I like working with people. I don't get a chance to work with people very often. You know, we've got a great team at Whistlekick, but most of what happens is they do stuff and I oversee it and take what they've done and run with it, or it goes to somebody else. You know, we collaborate, but we don't really work together. And Andrew and I work together, and I like doing that. Frank and I do a certain degree work together. Did I mention I had a great call with Frank on Wednesday? I think I said that yesterday. And so what else happened yesterday? Audiobook. Did a handful of things for various clients. I went out, you know what? So most of you know that in between all of these things, I run what I think I have to describe as a very small farm. Just the approach I have to it. It's an acre. And I tap maple trees. And right now I'm tapping birch trees. And I built a fancy bucket system. And the birch syrup that I had, took it off the what do you call it? Crock pot. Put it in the fridge. It was getting to that point where it was almost going to turn into caramel, which was the mistake I made last year. So it was time to pull it off and start another batch. I went out to the bucket to pull off the sap. And slugs had gotten in there. It was so nasty. There were slugs, like a handful of slugs, not a handful, like 4. And there was like scum on top of the sap. It had only been like 3 days. So I had to find a way to block that hole that the hoses go through and dump it all out and wash the bucket. It was sad. It wasn't that much sap, but so we will see this weekend how much more there is. I have noticed that birch sap is more prone to getting scummy than maple sap. Is there anything else yesterday? Went to the gym, watched some TV. Stacy says, ew, slugs are yucky. They really are. Like, I don't mind. Good morning, Brian. I don't mind bugs for the most part. You know, I'm the type of guy, there's a bug in the house, I'm going to take it and I'm going to throw it outside. Spiders, unless they're really big, I'll pick them up too and I'll throw them outside. If they're big, I'll scoop them into something and throw them outside. Bugs don't bother me. Snakes, no, I'm good. But slugs are gross. Like, they leave that gross, scummy stuff on your hand. Like, who wants that? That's, yeah. How do you move? With feet. How do you move? I slide over my own mucus. Oh. Like it's the weirdest system of locomotion ever. What would slug martial arts be? Other than slow. Let's pretend it didn't have to be slow. Instead of, okay, step to that angle, it would be, okay, all right, I'm not even going to keep going because it's just the words I have to use are just gross. And I just don't want to be gross with everyone at all, let alone on a Friday morning. Sometimes they take it too far, but sometimes I see the line before I get there and we're not crossing. So what's going on today? I'm going to head up to Burlington, go to the co-working space, get some good creative work done. I've got a couple ideas of some things I want to work on. Got a couple projects that are coming to an end. Not end. Got a couple client things going on that we're gonna make happen. Gotta check on those. I may start working on the strength and conditioning program. I don't know. We'll see. Gotta grab some wood for that garden bed that I gotta finish so I can start throwing dirt in it and getting it ready. Plants are doing well. Zucchini are up. Those all came up real fast. If this is my first year with a seedling mat, like a little heat mat underneath, if you grow your own seedlings, if you grow your own stuff from seed, get one. I knew it would make a difference. I did not know it would be this dramatic between germination rates and speed. It's out of control. If you want to start your own like side business greenhouse sort of thing, just get one of those. Just get one of those. Get the seeds to come up, and then you can move them off the mat if you need to, and grow them under light. But it's crazy how big of a difference it is. That mat was in open box at Amazon for like $26. It's 4 foot by 2 foot, something like that. It's huge. And so this weekend, weather looks like it's gotten better. So I've got a bunch of stuff going on this evening, hanging out with some friends in Burlington. Tomorrow, helping with some family stuff and doing a bunch of outside stuff. Sunday, hanging out with somebody. We're going to watch a new Mortal Kombat. I'm pumped for that. And then in between, plants and meal prep. I think this week, is it this weekend? I think this weekend is the weekend that I plant like a ton of seeds. There's one weekend that comes up that it's kind of out of control, that half the things I need to grow need to start. It's either this weekend or next weekend. I don't remember. Maybe it's the weekend after. No, it might be 2 weeks. Well, I got a plan. I don't remember my head. It's over there. And yeah, so there's a lot going on. But it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. I think I'm going to go to the gym this morning, because I never go in the evening on Fridays, because it's Friday. You know, you hang out with people, have a couple of drinks, and you're like, I don't want to go to the gym now. That's silly. It doesn't work. So I'll probably go to the gym. And then I'll go to the hardware store, Home Depot, grab some wood, then do some work, and call it a day. Let's see what you guys gave me to talk about. Oh, this is what I had. I made pizza last night. This is what I had with my pizza. Citizen cider for sure. It's a Goza style cider. It's good. If I get cider, I tend to get not sweet ones, because, well, I don't drink them as fast. I like sweet drinks. I drink them too fast. What did Brian say? Whatever you want, there is always in flooring. Pro tip. I don't get it. Whatever you want, there is always in flooring. Is it missing a word? Whatever you want, there is always someone in flooring? Something in flooring? Home Depot. I need a full sentence, Brian. I don't know what you're saying, man. I don't get it. What do we got? So we got some comments today from Gabe and Frank, and some jokes from Frank. Oh, whatever you want there, it is always in flooring. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff right around flooring. I spend a fair amount of time in Home Depot. I really like Home Depot. I like tools. I have way more tools than I need. I have way more tools than I can justify. And I want more. I want a table saw. I don't need a table saw, but I want one. I may get one. Probably not today, but I want one. There's a lot I can do with a table saw. And then yesterday, so just a reminder, episode 601 we talked in, which came out yesterday, was the announcement about Marshall Journal and the print magazine. And if you, we've received some questions, some comments about how do I get on the list? How do I get one of these first 100 copies? You go to marshalljournal.com and you subscribe. And if you are on that email list, we will email you and ask you for your address. So go do that. People are asking, I think we received one comment from someone who said, you should send it to all the contributors. Well, if they get on the list of 100 is not full yet. It might be now, but last I looked, it wasn't. And you've got to send the address back. Not everyone's going to do that. So there's no reason that, as of right now, people who are interested can't get it. But you gotta do something about it. You gotta take action. All right. So yesterday, we were talking about vitamin D, and my disdain for calling it a vitamin. And I asked Google, what the official name was, and it rattled off forever. And Gabe says, vitamin D is cholecalciferol, cholecalciferol, which is not what it said. It gave me like the chemical structure, but that was the word I was looking for. Cholecalciferol, cholecalciferol. Yeah. And your face when Google was reading that off to you was hilarious. I'm glad it was funny, Gabe. All right. So, the jokes for Funday Friday, courtesy of Frank. Thank you, Frank. We've got a handful here. Why can athletes lift more than prisoners? Because the pros outweigh the cons. What exercise do hairdressers do in the gym? Curls. What's a banana's favorite gymnastic move? The splits. If you guys ever take these jokes and you use them and they go well or do not, post about it, because I'm sure Frank would enjoy hearing about it. I know I would. I called the local gym and asked if they could teach me gymnastics. They asked, how flexible are you? I said, I can't make Mondays or Fridays. Why does the trainer at the gym have to keep getting new clothes? Because people keep telling him he's ripped. Why did the couple stop going to the gym? It wasn't working out. I have to make a confession. I'm not bench pressing anymore. Wow, that took a real weight off my chest. Why doesn't Waldo from Where's Waldo go to the gym? Because no one can spot him. A couple more. What's the easiest way to get a six-pack at the gym? Take the beer from your fridge and smuggle it in. Did you know there are more millionaires than there are people with six-pack abs? That's how difficult it is. There's also something to be said that you can accumulate wealth. You can't accumulate a six-pack. You can't get a six-pack really slow and steady. You've got to be really disciplined about it. But makes you think. If you were really disciplined about money, what could you do? If you had an approach to food and exercise that was slow and steady, could you get there? And the answer is yes. It's been 6 months since I joined the gym and still no progress. I'm going there in person tomorrow to see what's going on. There are people that think that way. In fact, that's the whole Planet Fitness model. We get you to join the gym for $10 a month, and then you never come. Statistics show, and so this is Frank's question. Statistics show that about 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. If you had a friend who was trying to lose weight, what would you tell him or her? So let's start with why are so many people overweight or obese? And it is easy to assume that not everyone struggles with this. I will be very honest. I'm at a time right now where I am not thrilled with what's going on around my stomach area. I have accumulated more body fat there over the last few months than I'm really comfortable having. I'm not pleased with it, but I'm trying to be kind to myself because I've been going through a lot. And one of the ways that I am kind of, I guess we can call it coping, is with some comfort food and a few drinks. And I wasn't as regular about going to the gym for a couple months. I was going, but just, instead of going 5 days a week, I was going 3. And that made a difference. Both of those things stacked together, put on a few extra pounds, maybe 3 to 5. Wasn't a lot, but I'm not a large guy, so 5 pounds is a big deal. When you consider most Americans' lifestyle, Western lifestyle, we eat a lot of processed food, and we don't move a lot. Most of us have jobs that involve sitting. And when we're not at work and we're at home, we're usually sitting in front of the TV. What do we call this room with the places that we sit and the TV? We call it a living room. This is where we live. This is where we spend most of our time. And our bodies evolved for a dramatic amount of movement. I've done the research on this. I have experimented with this. When you move, when you walk about 10 miles a day, it's about 20,000 steps, some really significant stuff happens. My theory is that for most people, if you were to get 20,000 steps in per day, you could probably eat just about whatever you wanted, just about, and be reasonably healthy in terms of body weight. Now, I say just about whatever you want because most of the food that we buy at the grocery store, most of the processed food, has things in it that are not good for us. Did you know that most oil, most vegetable oils, pretty much everything that's not coconut oil or animal-based fat, any of those oils you buy at the store are rancid when you buy them. They have rotted. They are essentially toxic to your body. But through the miracles of food science, they've been processed in a way that you don't know. You don't smell it. Because oil goes bad. And if you look at most processed foods, they have some kind of oil like that in them. And this is a big deal. This is, there are some people out there theorizing that a lot of people saying that they have gluten intolerances, it's actually not the gluten, it's the rancid vegetable oils that are in most bread products. And that they have a particularly strong reaction to them. And I could see that. I have found that my body does not react nearly as strongly to bread I make that doesn't involve oil versus bread products that I buy at the store. So that's all leading up to a suggestion that if you're looking to lose some weight, and not simply for the fact of I don't like the number on the scale, and there's a friend right now that I spoke to her a few months ago, and she's obsessed with the number on the scale, and I'm trying to get her to realize that she is thinner than she realizes she is. And we've had a couple conversations. I'm trying to encourage her to spend a little more time lifting weights versus running. So you got a couple components. You've got what you eat, the calories in. You've got the calories you burn, your metabolism, and then you've got the supplemental calories you burn through exercise. You've got to address all three in order to build a long-standing habit of health. There are a lot of people who lose weight temporarily, but put it back on because they're addressing two of the three. You can lose weight quickly, but you can't lose weight quickly and sustainably. It is not possible. How long did it take to put the weight on? It's going to take a while to take it off. Here's the painful part, and this is the one thing I dislike about the way some martial arts classes, cardio kickboxing classes are taught. They build a cardiovascular adaptation, which suppresses the metabolism. It makes our metabolism more efficient. That's a great thing, right? Well, back when calories were scarce, it did. But if the majority of your exercise, your supplemental calorie burn, is cardiovascular movement, it will reduce your metabolism, meaning that on an average day, you will burn fewer calories. So if you do that and you eat the same amount, unless you are working out, unless you're going to that cardio class, you're going to get heavier. And this is why the strength and conditioning program that we built is so different from most at-home programs. Most at-home programs are throwing a ton of movement at you, and the goal is to just burn calories. But I needed to make sure that the program that we made allowed people to get stronger, but in such a way that they actually built muscle instead of just, the typical, beach body or whatever style workout where, they're talking about getting shredded and it's tons of sweaty movement. Did you know that most people who went on to The Biggest Loser TV show gained the same amount, if not more, weight back after the show? Because their metabolisms were destroyed on that show. They had them doing a ton of movement, so their bodies became very efficient at movement, and they starved them, so so now their metabolism is even more suppressed, and then they go to eat a normal amount of food and they pack the weight back on because their body has been convinced that it is in a position of starvation. And in that position, your body can actually add additional fat cells. Ugh. So what does a sustainable, reasonable path to losing weight look like? Well, first off, it means resisting the temptation to get on the scale, ideally getting rid of the scale. Because if you're on the scale, one of two things can and likely will happen at various times. You get on the scale and you look at the number and it hasn't changed and you feel depressed and you throw in the towel and you say, forget about it, this isn't going to happen. Or you get really excited because you've lost some water weight and you think that what you've been doing is working and maybe it isn't. What's the number one way to tell if you're on the right track? The way your clothes fit, the way you feel. Your joints not hurting as much, things like that. So if we've got three things that we're addressing, we've got what the food you eat, your metabolism, and the supplemental exercise. Getting on some kind of consistent but reasonable food plan is a good idea. How do you do that? Spend a couple weeks figuring out what do you eat? Roughly how many calories are you consuming in a day? And then just trying to take out things that maybe shouldn't be there. So I mentioned those oils. If you are someone who eats a lot of processed food, let's say you finish up the day with chips. You like potato chips. And you typically have a two-handed portion. Cut that back to one hand, right? Reduce how much of that you're eating. This is my weakness right here. I like alcohol. I do. I am slowly cutting that out. Not completely, but actually, the last couple of years I've spent the month before my birthday not drinking. Guess what? A month before my birthday, that's over. I've got one more week. So I'm gonna cut back, and then I won't be drinking for a month. So you slowly take out the things that you know are your triggers. I know when I drink, I tend to overeat. I know when I drink, I tend to have another drink. So by taking out your trigger foods, by slowly adjusting what you eat to a more reasonable amount, and then being open to eating good food, I'll tell you what, you can eat all the vegetables you want. If I made a meal plan for someone, it would be eat all the vegetables you want. Eat those first. Low in calorie, healthy, etc. Filling, lots of fiber, good thing there. Take a look at your plate. It should be mostly protein and vegetables. And if you build a meal around that, probably good. So Stacy says, been doing a program of nutrition, exercise, and behavior management through the local gym. That's awesome. It's been really effective for me. Glucose down, blood pressure down, weight down, slow and steady. Yes, exactly. So the metabolism. How do you build your metabolism? By not making dramatic changes to how much you eat, number one, because that triggers your body to go, oh, I'm starving. And it tries to hold on to the calories because it wants you. What's your body's number one goal? To keep you alive. And we could go really deep on this. And in fact, there's a lot here, but I'm watching the time and I don't want to go too much farther on this. We're probably going to go over, probably going to be the longest episode we've done. Walking is a good way to burn calories without affecting your metabolism. Because when you walk, it doesn't impact your body in the same way. It's not walking is a parasympathetic movement, and there are very few of those. Okay, most exercise is sympathetic, and it completely changes the way the body handles that signal. I am not an advocate of running or any kind of cardio-based movement for weight loss. What am I a fan of? Lifting weights. And if you're new to that, how to get started is a little bit outside the scope of what I can convey over here. Our strength and conditioning program could work for somebody because you can do it at home. We've got some videos. I'm not saying it's the best way. It's definitely not better than lifting weights at a gym. I won't lie about that. We've caught some flack for that, which I find interesting. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying it's, of the at-home options, I think it is the best one that you can do, especially considering there's no equipment and it brings in some martial arts principles. So the general plan would be make sure you're not eating too many calories and focus your calories on healthy food. Walk as much as you can and slowly ramp that up, and lift weights a couple times a week. And if you did those three things, you'd probably be on a good track. People often want to lose, let's say they want to lose 100 pounds. You get someone, I want to lose 100 pounds, Jeremy. Okay. When do you want to lose it? I want to lose it as soon as possible. Okay. And how long do you want to keep it off? Well, forever. Okay. Those two things are in opposition. The longer you spend taking that weight off, the longer it will stay off. Think about people that start training martial arts. Think about people you've seen come in and they go to class and they're training and they're really excited and then they burn out. It's kind of what happens when you crash diet. Your body burns out and you can't maintain it anymore. It is possible to get your body down to, let's say, 1,000, 1,200 calories and you still gain weight. It's possible. It happens all the time. So, I am not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. I am not anybody certified in anything other than the exercise pieces that I've talked about. But if there's anybody watching and they would like some first steps, they would like some encouragement, they would like to check in with me, and because you trust or feel comfortable with me and you want to talk about some first steps, email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. I will give you my time for free because this is important stuff and I want to see people healthy. Now, the last thing I need to say, I spoke out about cardiovascular movement. I am not saying don't go to class. I am not saying don't do cardio. I'm not saying that at all. Please, I'm not saying that. I am saying that if that is the only component of your strategy for burning calories, it is setting up for failure. I am saying that if you say, I want to lose weight, so instead of going to cardio kickboxing 2 days a week, I'm going to go 5, you're setting yourself up for failure, ultimately. I'm saying that instead of adding 3 more days of that, add 2 to 3 days of resistance training. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And again, if you want to unpack that for your individual situation with this is not what we sell, okay? So we don't have enough people watching this that I know I'm going to get overwhelmed with these requests. But if you do have some questions or concerns, email me, please. I would love to help you. Jeremy at whistlekick.com. So, cheers to you. There's 35 minutes, officially the longest episode we've ever done. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you. Cheers to you. Clink, clink. I'm going to go have another cup of coffee. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Leave me some stuff to talk about. Drop it in the comments section below once the show closes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn on notifications because we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time here on YouTube. We also put it out in audio form in your podcast feed. Listen to Martial Arts Radio. Watch Martial Arts Radio. Support us with Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick, or at whistlekick.com. Use the code FIRSTCUP15 to buy something. And our training programs are at whistlekickprograms.com. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate all of you. Have a fantabulous weekend. Peace.